Good afternoon, everybody. We know it's the high time to start our conversation about putting a ring on it here at the University of Houston, and we're so glad you could join us not only live here on our webinar about our University of Houston official class rings, but if you're watching us on the recording version, we really do appreciate you joining us here today. My name is Mike Paday. I'm class of 1989, Hilton College Hotel Restaurant Management. I'm your AVP for Alumni Relations here at the University of Houston, and I'm joined by not only members of my team here who are working your way through our UH2U webinar about your class ring, but also members of our great partners at Balfour. Robert Baker, the regional manager for Balfour, is with us, as well as some of his team. And we have our team here at the Alumni Association who are always happy to help you order your class ring. It's about that time. Classes are starting. You've been notified that you have more than 70 hours of class time that has been completed, so congratulations on that. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe you're going to graduate in December or in May of next year, and it is coming. And we are so glad and want to congratulate you on that incredible achievement of receiving your class ring. We're signing up for your class ring to receive your class ring from the University of Houston and get your degree from our great alma mater. We're going to give everybody just another couple of minutes to connect before we get into the meat and potatoes of our program. But I want to go over a couple of rules with you as we go along. There aren't many rules, but there's a few. First off, make sure you're on mute, please, if you could. That would be very helpful. Make sure your microphones are mute until we get to the end if we should call on someone. You can also put questions in the chat the entire time we're having our conversation today. You can put your questions in the chat. Those will get recorded as well, and we'll do the best we can to give you quick answers to those questions, as well as putting some of the answers to your questions back in the chat if it's as simple as a link that you might need, or some other information that our team can put in the chat to make you feel a little more comfortable that your question is being answered. We want to also introduce Robert. Robert Baker is right there. He's going to wave. Our friend from Balfour is right there to not only handle it for the umpteenth year. I won't say your age, Robert, how long you've been handling the University of Houston, but we'll just go with umpteenth year of handling our class rings here at the University of Houston. And we want to thank Balfour for their partnership for so many years of the official class ring. I have mine on here today, and I know many of you are excited about getting yours. The format for today is we're going to cover some of the traditions of our class ring first, and then we're going to talk about ordering and the options, and then we'll get into questions. And then this, of course, this recording, for those of you who are watching us live, you will be able to go back and watch it, and I want to welcome those of you who just clicked on to watch this recording right now. Thank you for joining us as well. You can always direct your questions here to the Alumni Association. You can send a simple email to us at alumni@UH.edu, or you can go and just give us a phone call. You cannot drop by right now. We are in the Athletics Alumni Center, but we normally would have you just walk right in. But we'll discuss that later on about how you can set up a time to be able to come in and get sized, and we'll tell you about the other opportunities. So let's get started. What do you say? So we're going to work our way through. The class ring tradition links you to hundreds of thousands. If you didn't know, we just graduated our 300,000th alum, 305,000 to be exact. About 285,000 of those are still with us. And this class ring tradition dates back and links you to those hundreds of thousands of Cougars who came before you. And it's a milestone in your student experience and reminds you of your commitment to the university. So every time I look down at my ring, I think how enthusiastic I am about my alma mater and when's the next time I'm going to get back on campus. Now, I've been blessed enough to be working at my alma mater, so I do that every day. But those of you who live far away or will get a job somewhere not in Houston, you'll look down at that ring for years to come and be excited about getting back into that university community and participate in our campus traditions and personal success through your academic achievements. Students are eligible, as we mentioned before, to order your class ring when you have completed 70+ hours. There's so many incredible, enthusiastic students not only living on campus now, but have lived on campus and gotten their class rings and are active in coming to our athletic events. And we found one of those for you today. I can't think of anyone more enthusiastic than our guest speaker today. Truly, I'm trying to think of someone more enthusiastic, and I cannot do it. But we have always asked someone to come and give you a little excitement pep talk about your class ring. And my good friend Edwin Mascaro of the class of 2019 is here to do that today. And you'll recognize his face either from something on campus of some organization's roster where you just see his normal photo, or some form of Edwin jumping up and down on some sideline somewhere at some athletic event, so enthusiastically supporting our university. So having said that, Edwin, now that I have summarily embarrassed you enough, I'm going to give you the floor.
Thank you, Mike.
Roy.
Yeah, one way or another, you may have seen me at a UH athletics event. But good afternoon, Cougars. My name is Edwin Mascoro, class of the 2019 Valenti School of Communications, and then I actually spent some time at Bauer with marketing. Nowadays, I'm a brand strategist for small businesses and up-and-coming startups. Thank you to the Alumni Association for having me today. So I'm here to explain to you about my pride towards the University of Houston and why I ended up purchasing one of the class rings. So when it comes to the class ring,
Is he coming?
it establishes your journey here at the University of Houston. I always say that, my degree, it's in the living room. That represents my academic achievement. But the journey that it took me to get there, that's what my ring represents. It represents the good memories, the bad memories, the great times I had at UH athletics events, the bad times I had at the CASA testing center. But, I made it. And you will too. And when it comes to the class ring specifically, it is just like Mike said, it's a bond that ties you to the university. When I look at my class ring, I can remember the times that I spent at the University Student Center, or how many times that I've received so much help from my professors, the rec center, countless of other people that have gotten me to the point that I am today. It was because of the University of Houston that I am the person that I am today. And for that's why I'm always thankful that I'm going to be a Cougar for life. And, someone asked me, that's a lot of money towards a ring. I'm like, well, here's the thing. The same money that I would be putting towards a new phone, I can put it towards a ring. Whereas your phone is going to end up somewhere in the landfill. Whereas my Cougar ring, that's a keepsake. It represents my milestone. And, for me as a first generation student, it solidifies that, this represents the achievement that for first generation students, in my case, it represents all the sacrifices that my parents did so that I can be in this position. And it always gets me, but that's going back to the ring. I look at it and think about all the people that have gotten me to where I am today. And so whatever the ring will represent to you, whether you're a first-gen student, whether you're graduating the class, you're making it to graduation, the non-traditional student. If you're a mom, dad, you have kids, if you're working 2 jobs, all that good stuff, throughout all the bad, throughout all the good, you will make it. And that ring just represents the bond, that the journey. And so I can't say enough about what the ring represents to me, because it's I look back at the memories and then just get very emotional. And hopefully for you can have the same experience, that every time you look at your ring, that you'll be reminded of the great times that you had at the University of Houston. So I'm gonna keep it short and sweet, and with that, go Cougs.
Thank you so much, Edwin. I say this in the most loving way. We'll have to stop asking you to speak about it, because I don't think you can make it all the way through. That's how much your ring means to you, and we all have that same issue. So thank you so much for your generous words today. We really do appreciate it, and we appreciate you. And so and thank you for joining us. So let's run through some of our traditions. As Edwin mentioned, we have obviously some things that people think athletics owns all the traditions. They don't. We have so many great traditions, and many of them are built around our class ring, right? So the first one we have is our ring statue. It was a generous gift from Balfour. Last year, we dedicated it. Last year seems like 5 years ago, right? But it was just last year we dedicated our class ring statue, and we hope that you will go over into the Student Center South and take photos with that. It is what's behind me on my Zoom photo here. It's not quite this large, but it is large, and it's a great spot to take some photos. Take your family over there when they're on campus, and be sure and tag us on social media. Our ring blessing at the Houston Zoo. This is our most fervent blessing, or tradition that we have. Excuse me. We started this when we got Shasta number 6 back in 2012, and we thought, what would be a great way to create a new tradition of our rings at the University of Houston? So your ring, when you purchase it, will go, in this particular case, on December the 4th, will be this fall's ceremony. There'll be one in the spring. But they go over into the Houston Zoo, inside the cougar habitat where Shasta 6 lives, and your ring will be inside that red box that you see there on the screen. Your ring was actually in that box, and the zookeepers will bring Shasta out And of course, he has to be enticed with a little raw meat of some sort, but he'll jump up on top of that box and bless those rings for you inside of there. And you can get more information and you can attend that ring ceremony. But now this particular year, I will tell you, there may be some new rules about that at the zoo, but we are working to not only bring you that live, but also virtually as well. So we hope you'll attend that. Next up, we have our women's rings. Don't forget, our ring ceremony is next. Apologize, I lost my space there. Our ring ceremony this year, which normally is in Fertitta Center, it would be thousands of people. We're going to do it virtually this time around, and we're going to have a ring pickup celebration. Typically in Fertitta Center, we'll have 3,000 or 4,000 people, families, mascots, and etc. This year, we're going to do a little bit different, but just as fun. On December 6th, a Sunday, right here at the Alumni Center, we will have a ring curbside pickup celebration. And when you order your ring, it will be quite a big deal. I believe there will be confetti cannons involved in these kind of things as you come through the parking lot. So everybody has to have a confetti cannon. But either way, you'll be able to come through, pick up your ring, and have some pomp and circumstance for doing that. So put that on your calendar, December 6th, if you are ordering your ring now. If you are ordering your ring now and you're not going to graduate till May and you want to wait till May, you can potentially do that as well. We'll have some more information for you. How do you order it? Well, this is really simple, and this is where we're going to get into some of the meat and potatoes of your ring. It's really quite simple. Right now, you're going to go to balfour.com/UH and click on Shop All Class Rings, and you'll be able to see all the class rings that are in that particular space. You'll notice that we only have one class ring. Let me be particular with you. There's only one official class ring at the University of Houston, and Balfour is the only one that makes it. We try and let other folks know that if you buy a ring from another provider, those are not the official class ring of the University of Houston, and they will not be allowed to participate in our ring ceremony. This is a Balfour ceremony, and of course we have 99.9% of the people will do that, but every now and then someone unfortunately will get one from another provider and then want to be a part of the ceremony, and unfortunately we cannot do that. But if you go to the website, you'll click on the class rings, you'll see it's very easy to find your ring size, and there's a way you can find your ring size right on there. There is a PDF ring sizer on the website that you can actually cut out and wrap around. It is very accurate. We've done it here in the office, and it is very, very accurate. So your options, let's look at those options. So there are men's and women's rings. Women's come in one frame size while the men have 4 options. Don't ask me why that is. That's a conversation for another day. But the women have one option, as you see there on the bottom, and the men have the 4 options of small, medium, large, and extra large. And that's about the fascia and the way the ring is actually made. The women's rings, as you can see, are very nice, and you can get a stone on those rings as well. And they are they share the exact same mold as the men's rings do, with the E colon on one side and the coat of arms on the other side. The men's frame size options, medium and large, are very similar. Extra large, I will tell you, is much larger than a large. So when you do the sizing of the rings, you do want to be a little bit careful. Pay attention to your PDF when you are sizing yourself. And of course, we'll have questions at the end if you'd like to ask some of Robert and everyone else. Options. There are metal options and pricing options for each ring. You'll see them here: 10 karat, 14 karat, 18 karat gold, white gold, yellow gold, and you can get sterling silver as well. And there are also a couple of different finishes that you can get. There's an antique finish and a natural finish. The antique finish, if you'll notice, has that little, like a filler around that. That's what my ring is. It's an antique finish. You also have the natural finish of the gold as well. Our side design, what does it look like? Well, Mike, I will tell you. What it looks like is on one side of your ring, you will have the degree that you are earning: BS, BA, BBA, whatever those things may be. And you will have your graduation year on the other side. You can enter up to 5 letters in that space, and you will be able to have your graduation year. All of the other things are standard. You cannot change the rest of the mold. You'll see you'll have your degree at the top of the E. Cullen building. The university's founding date is at the bottom, 1927. And then on the other side, you'll have the coat of arms, and you'll have your graduation year, which in this case would be 2020 or 2021. Depending on where you may stand on that particular calendar. Top options, this is important. On top of your ring, you can have a stone or metal top, and there is enough room to stick a stone in that space. You can go all the way, go all in and get a diamond on top of there, or a cubic zirconia, and the men's size options is a 1/10 of a carat or a 1/4 carat stone on top of that ring. And then you also have your band options as well, which, let's see one second, which gives you inside, you'll see on this particular screen, inside the band, you can have your scripted name up to a certain number of characters. First line is free, fits 18 characters. You can have a second line, which is $5 and fits 12 more characters. We encourage you putting your name in this space so that if it is lost and returned to us, which does happen quite often actually, if it's returned to us, we can track you down and find it. Interestingly enough, we get some great stories about, I lost my ring. But my favorite one, we had a regent of ours took his ring off on an airplane. I won't tell you how long the story was, but it was a Pan Am plane, if that tells you anything. He took it off in the early 1970s, put it down to wash his hands in the lavatory, accidentally left it there. And about 8 years ago, so that's like 1975, about 8 years ago, that ring got turned into us. That someone had found it on the plane, had taken it home, could never find the owner. We finally found it. So after 30 plus years, we did return it to the owner. So we do get some really cool stories like that. So we will want to track you down. But you can put anything, your nicknames in there, or your favorite phrase, or whatever you might want to put inside there. But we do recommend your name be at least on one of those lines. And finally, the deadline, right? To be included in our ring blessing and our pickup this semester, there is a deadline that you must reach. And you can see on there, as we go along, you must order your class ring one way or the other, whether it's at one of our in-person fairs here at the Alumni Center or a grad fair or online. You must order that by October 16th to participate in our ring semester or shipped, and they will be shipped directly to you if you don't come to the pickup. So we will ship those, and they can be brought back next semester if you can't make the pickup fun or the ring ceremony in Fertitta Center, and that's a big deal to you, and it is a very big deal to many people. We will have space to accommodate everyone in the spring, where hopefully I have some wood here to knock on somewhere, but knock on wood, we'll be able to have our ring ceremony in person in the spring. And so payment and insurance. So this one's fairly simple. When you come to the payment line, there's two payment options. You can pay over 3 months through Balfour, 6 months through PayPal. Both are interest free. I'm sorry, I got a little tongue tied there. Both are interest free. There is an insurance plan that I actually do recommend. It's $35, and it does dramatically cut down the cost of your ring the next time you order it, should it be lost. Almost cuts it in third, but we can touch on that in a little bit. So those are our traditions. Those are how your ring operates. Those are some of the insurance and the payment plans. And now it's up to you to get that ring on your finger and get what you need to go. So we're going to ask some questions right now, and let's see if we can't get into the chat. I apologize, doing two things at once. So if you order our ring through Balfour, it'll ship straight to campus. Correct. When you order your ring, they all come to us first. They will come to us first. We will reach out to you and see if you are joining us in our ring pickup ceremony in December, or you can then tell us, please just mail it home to me and it will be shipped to you second. So we will have you to have the option to say that you want it to come here, and then we will send it to Balfour, and they will send it to you if you do not come here. Let's see. Janie asked, if you want to be part of the ceremony, you need to order from Balfour, but will that also be the case for the tradition? Yes. All the rings that go inside the box are also part of the Balfour tradition. And so we do make an exception or two because of older graduates that may have a ring that has not been blessed yet. We do put some of those inside the box, and you can find some information on our website about that, about if you want to put those in the box as well. Keep in mind that we have already, we're going to have 2 semesters of rings being blessed this semester because we didn't have a ceremony in the spring, and we may have some students who are giving their rings back to us. So we're actually making a second box for the zoo, and so that is going to be quite a task for. You might just line them up and let Shasta hop on top and walk across like it's a bridge. As long as he's getting fed, I don't think he cares. if you'd like to order it in person, where would we go? When and where would we go? So we're doing it the next 2 days here in the Alumni Center, which is September 22nd and 23rd, but you'll need to make an appointment for that. And you can do that by going online to our website at houstonalumni.com, and you can find if there's any spaces available. And then I believe there are some other events coming up in October where you will have an opportunity to go on campus and order a ring as well. Rob, I'm going to bring Robert Baker in and tell him to come off of mute for a second. Robert, is that true, please, about the timing for October? Besides here in the building, will we have another opportunity on campus?
Yes, there is a grad fair at your bookstore next week, Monday and Tuesday.
Okay.
Those rings will be in time for the ring ceremony as well.
And Robert, are those operating on an appointment basis as well, or can you just come in person?
Samantha in the bookstore has not indicated whether that's necessary or not, but please do check with the bookstore on that. And I know they're also taking photographs, and there's no obligation to purchase a photo. But if you want to check out your photo, you can and purchase afterwards.
Excellent. Thank you. So Brianna asks a question. Well, there's another question about ordering before the deadline. Yes, October 16th is a hard deadline if you want to be a part of this year's blessing. So you'll need to get that ordered by October 16th. I mentioned that there's a sizing event in person, both the next 2 days here in the Alumni Center and next week that Robert just mentioned in the bookstore. Brianna asked an interesting question that does happen to people once in a while that says you have over 70 hours and yet to receive any info saying you're eligible. And you send an email to us. That will happen sometimes if all of your transfer hours have gone through. What I would suggest, Brianna, which is what you've done, you've sent an email to us. We will check with the registrar's office and the bursar's office to see what your hours are, just to be sure that there's not something going on there. We trust you that you've crossed over 70 hours and your enthusiasm for buying a ring is admirable, but we will check for you to make sure that there's not an issue there. And of course, you can see that you can email Elaine, who handles this, Elaine Duke, which is evduke@uh.edu, to set up a time to order your rings. And Elaine is also in charge of our ring program during the course of the year, and she can answer all your questions. Payment plans, as I mentioned, there are payment plans on there through Balfour and through PayPal. One is 3 months, one is 6 months. So if you want to choose one of those, that will help you in that space. Can you attend the ceremony if we're still paying off our ring? If you are holding your ring and it has come to us, you will be in the ceremony. That is for sure. We do not legislate. If the ring came to us and Balfour says we're going to give whoever it may be a ring, that means there must be a completed payment done or you're on a plan, and we're good with that. Is there any, I'm going to pitch this one to you, Robert. Is there a way we can find the difference in measurement of sizing of men's rings? Do you want to give us just a sense from your space in Balfour about how to choose the men's ring sizes between the 4 choices, Robert?
Sure. It's based on hand size. If you have large hands, you might consider a large. An extra large is a lot of ring to wear. I would recommend that you have a size 12 finger or more, maybe to wear the extra large. But it's all about balance. You want that ring to look balanced on your hand. The average man's finger size is about a 10.5, and a medium to a large could be worn on that size finger.
Thank you very much. Let's see. I graduated several years ago. My ring no longer fits. Can I trade it in for another ring? Robert, we don't need to trade that in, right? If it's a Balfour ring, we can resize that a little bit. Yes. Can we not?
Sizing is free.
Yeah, resize that free if that is a Balfour ring. So you can send that email to Elaine as well. That was Diedrich's. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was Gwen's question. Maria is asking, will we get more information about attending these ceremonies? Yes. If you purchase a ring, you will hear plenty from us about the ceremonies and the drive-through. Absolutely, that you will get more information than you care to have, frankly, to be honest. We will make sure that you know when it's going to happen and how it's going to happen. If we'd like to purchase our class ring next semester, what would be the process? Same thing, same process, but we'll give you a new set of dates of where you order your ring. There's always a grad fair. When you apply for graduation, You'll also get information about regalia and cap and gown and these kinds of things. But once you cross 70 hours, you'll hear from us until you're graduated. You will hear from us that you're still eligible to get a ring, and these will be the dates that you will join us. So if you're going to wait till next semester, which is perfectly fine, likely those tend to happen in the middle to late part of February. The grad fairs tend to happen in that space, and you will have probably a mid-March date to reach the deadline for the spring semester ceremony. So let's see, if we'd like to purchase next semester, that's the one I just asked. My class ring was not blessed. Can I participate in a ring blessing still? Absolutely. What you'll have to do is you'll have to reach out to Elaine, and we will basically sign your ring in here at the Alumni Association, and then we'll sign it back out to you when you pick it back up, and we will be happy to put it in the box for your ring to be blessed. As I mentioned, the screen here shows Elaine's email address. There is a space for a discount code. You all ever have discount codes? We don't do discounting specifically. Sometimes when we do something where we've given away a ring or we run a particular special for a specific group, but that has not happened very often. So you won't need to fill in that discount code at this point, unless we come up with something. Balfour has been a great partner of ours, and we could do something as the semester goes along in the next couple of weeks while you're ordering to see, and we'll go back and look at those should that happen. Is this webinar being recorded? Yes. For those of you who are watching it live, yes. At this point, for those of you who are watching it recorded, you know it's recorded and you're watching it right now. So it will go on to our website right after this. Will you have sample rings at the events in person this week? Yes, we have sample rings here, and we will have sample rings at the grad fair at the bookstore next week. So you'll actually be able to pick up a ring and put it on. And we're cleaning those, every time you put it on your finger, and all of the COVID protocols that we have to do. If we pick up our ring during the drive-through and then an in-person ceremony happens the next semester, could I attend the in-person one? Yeah. If you want to be a part of more traditions at the University of Houston, we are not going to stop you. I think I'm your biggest fan already, Nicole. If you want to come to more things, please do. Yes. You come back and say you want to come to a ceremony and walk across the stage and hear your name called, we will make that happen for you. We are making all kinds of considerations for the way we're operating right now, and we do not want you to be cheated from the moment to walk across the stage. One thing that's interesting, and Edwin touched on it a little bit, I haven't really heard of too many situations where a team of people were not helping you get this ring. And I want that team of people, whether it's mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, auntie, uncle, whatever it might be, that paid to get that ring, to cheat them of hearing your name called when you go across the stage to get your ring. I have no interest in that. I'm not putting up with any grandmas who are upset with me. We will walk you across that stage if you want to participate in walking across that stage. So the answer to that, Nicole, is yes. If I'm an alum, 1991, buying my ring with my daughter, current grad, can we pick up our rings at the ceremony together? Yes. We actually do it all the time. We would love you to tell us these kind of fun stories. We have Carolyn Hartman on our team who writes our stories for our magazines. Edwin has been at our ceremony. I make all kinds of big deals out of brothers and sisters and moms and dads and all kinds of things when they walk across the stage. So if you are doing that, we would love for you to walk across the stage together and get your rings together. When you order your online, it asks for your graduation date, but that has not been announced. So if you do that and you have not applied for graduation yet, this is important. You need to guess the year in which you're going to graduate. So if you're going to graduate in December, put 2020 on there. If you're going to graduate next May or next December, put 2021 on there. And you could technically, I guess, graduate in the spring of 22 if you had enough hours now, if you took your time. But that's up to you as to what year ends up on your ring. So that's going to be your call. Will there be more ring scholarships in the spring? The answer to that is yes. As you know, we had over 600 scholarship applications for this year's ring scholarships, and we gave away 3 rings this year in the fall. I'm already working with our board of directors. We are planning on giving away more rings next semester in that scholarship program. We are committed to 5 a year, but with the incredible response we have, I am going to work with our board of directors to see if we can increase that by a few, and we will have another ring scholarship opportunity next year. And for sales rep and number, do we put your name? Robert, when they fill in sales rep and number, what do they put in that space? You're on mute. You had it close. It's a game. You're still muted. We almost made it all the way through. There we go.
Mike. No, that's not necessary. We're not commissioned per sale like that. So, but thank you for asking.
So no need for that. So we do have a couple more minutes. We're straight on 30 minutes, which we held to. Again, remember the deadline's coming up. You want to beat the deadline either in person here the next couple days or next week in the bookstore. You can also do it online, download the PDF and size it. In person, you can see those. We are also every now and then in the office here in the Alumni Association. We do have someone in the office. So if you send Elaine an email and for some reason you can't make any of those, you would be able to come into the Alumni Center and figure out a way to, at least in a kind of emergency situation, get yourself sized, and somebody will be up here. If you want to buy a ring this semester, in the midst of what we're dealing with, our team at the Alumni Association will figure out a way to get you sized and a way to get you what you need. Robert, quick question from Siraj. I think I said that name right. What's the size difference between the stones?
There is a 5-point stone, and that's the stone that's set in the woman's ring. If you purchase a larger ring, a small, medium, or large, or extra large men's ring, then that ring could have a 10-point or a 25-point stone. And I just want to back up too about the different sizes of men's rings. There's a lot of women that prefer a larger ring. And if that's the case, you should probably look at maybe the small men's ring or even a medium men's ring. I've sold a large men's ring to the ladies too. So it's all about size preference on your hand.
Elaine or Kendra, Ashley is asking what the white gold looks like. Did we have that in our slides somewhere? Can we go back and show the difference? I don't know how different the color was on the white gold as compared to the, maybe the next slide. While you're doing that, if we purchased a ring wrap, would our class ring be the same size? I believe that is correct. If you purchased a ring wrap to put around your class ring that is diamonds or stones of some sort, yes, your ring size for your finger, if that's what you're referring to, Megan, and I think it is, would be the same size. Yes. And these are what the white gold rings look like here on the screen. And so the yellow gold is a very bright gold, and the white gold is what you see on the screen here now. And of course, Balfour on their website has probably a few better examples that you can find there as well that will be a little more straightforward. We know this is a different deal, that you're purchasing this in a little different situation. I will say that the ring behind me is the antiqued version of the men's ring, and it is the antique look that you see there on the left-hand side. So to Ashley, so that is the yellow gold is the one behind me on my screen. Okay. All right. So any more questions? Do I have a picture of a woman's ring with a diamond? Yes, we do. Right there on the left-hand side. Jay Campos. I can't guess if that's male or female, so I won't say yes or yes sir or yes ma'am. But there it is on the left-hand side. What it does is it essentially shrinks down the interlocking UH and takes the place of that particular stone. And there you also see it on the top of the right-hand side as well. Okay? All right. Any other questions? I see some thank yous, and that's always good news. In the meantime, Elaine will put up that last screen where you can reach Elaine and ask the questions. And you can also reach Robert robert.baker@balfour.com. And you can also go to our website and on Balfour's website. So I want to thank everybody for attending here today. Edwin, I want to thank you for your wonderful words as always, and our team for putting this together. Robert Baker, thank you, and Balfour for your partnership as always. I want to thank all of you for attending, those of you recording. We're here to help you. HoustonAlumni.com is our website. We want you to get a ring. We want you to celebrate what you're about to achieve. We will make this easy as we can for you in the current conditions that we have. I want to wish all of you an opportunity to stay safe, stay healthy, and as we always end our program, go Cougs.